Tell us a bit about your own journey then into NIE. How long have you been there for, and what's your own career journey look like?
I'm in my 25th year in NIE now. I joined originally for 3 years. I'm in my 45th year in my career in total. So just over half has been with NIE Networks. And I always used to be, as a young boy, impressed by individuals that I saw who were out all over the countryside, and all this fancy equipment, climbing poles, and it just amazed me, the work that they did. So I was always really interested in it. And then when the opportunity came to join as HR director 25 years ago, I took it with both hands, because it's always been an organisation that impressed me in terms of what the organisation does for society. And it's a service that everybody takes for granted until you lose your electricity. All of a sudden you come home and you have no power, and NIE is the first number you look for in the book when you're in that situation. But otherwise, you don't see us and you don't know that we're there. So it's a fantastic service that we provide to society, not only keeping the lights on, but also developing all the new technologies to enable renewable energy and to enable people to have clean energy between now, and 80% will be between now and 2030. So that's a pretty fast track over the next 5 years. And then zero in terms of fossil fuels by 2050. And if you think of what that does for our society, there's 2 billion a year at the moment flowing out in what we pay for fossil fuels, 2 billion a year in Northern Ireland going overseas. That money's going to stay in our society, creating jobs and infrastructure.
That's exciting to hear. And we've had that in stark contrast about the value that we place on our electricity system with all the storms that we've had. You talked about those who are out there in the field working with NIE on the poles or down in the trenches at the side of the road. But there are more jobs out there in NIE, are there? Tell us a bit more about some of the other job roles that you have at NIE.
Well, we have, latest count, 67 different job roles within our business, and that's growing all the time. Some of the newer roles are data analytics and data analysts, specifically in relation to green skills. We couldn't get those skills in the marketplace, so we just recently launched an initiative with the local colleges, and we have a data analytics academy. Alongside that, we haven't been able to get planners, and planners are needed across many, many sectors. So again, with the local colleges, we've put all the right qualifications together, and we have a planning academy, again, which has been supported by the department and is run through the local colleges. So the great thing at the moment is there's flexibility within the Department for the Economy to help develop the appropriate qualifications through our education sector, to help work with employers to develop apprenticeships and provide structures for employers that maybe don't have those structures, to ensure that the academic piece is linked to the frontline piece. But the roles are broad, from planning, data analytics. I mentioned procurement officer before. HR, very, very keen and very key in all of these areas. We've grown our HR team significantly because they provide the frontline support, and they're out in the schools promoting awareness alongside some of our latest new apprentices and new graduates.
Brilliant. And you've mentioned apprentices a number of times already in the conversation. When we think of apprenticeships, NIE is certainly one of the organisations that have been doing this for decades. Why is that the case? Like, what's so special about apprenticeships?
So the NIE apprenticeship program is now over 50 years old. So it's very embedded in the business, and it's our way of doing business now, and that's how we recruit. We recruit primarily through apprenticeships, and we grow our own people. And 40% of our senior management team started as apprentices. But equally, we also have individuals who love the role that they're in and don't want to become a manager or don't want to develop beyond their existing role. They love being on the tools. They love being out and about. They love the teamwork and the freedom of not being in a closed environment all day. And so we've got roles for everyone. Those that love to be in leadership roles, those that love to be in practical roles, they're all accommodated. But in relation to our apprenticeship program, it's a core way. We now have 13 different apprenticeships, and those run from level 2 right up to higher level apprenticeships. And they're a core structured way of earning and learning at the same time. We have our own training centres. We have our own training instructors that are approved and accredited by all the relevant bodies, and then we link in partnership with education and organisations like yourselves, where we are out there promoting the awareness of apprenticeships, encouraging more people to apply into our sector. Because of all the good work that we do in that space, we end up with around 1,000 applicants for apprentices. And one of the challenges we face is maybe we have about 150 people in our apprenticeship scheme at the moment, but it means we're turning away a lot of people. And I'd certainly like to see more mechanisms in place to capture all of those 1,000 people that displayed an interest in us and our apprenticeship and ensure that they find their way into an apprenticeship somewhere in society because we need them. There's not enough young people that are coming through the system that are interested and that are doing apprenticeships. And there's much more interest now from employers than there was in the past. You and I both know that the numbers of employers have been very, very low compared to what we thought it should be. 40% want apprenticeships and less than 10% have been involved in apprenticeships. And that's because they don't know, one, how to get the people, and two, how to run the apprenticeship, and three, how to do, in particular, the academic piece of it. So helping employers in all of that space is a big part of what we're going to be doing in the Green Skills agenda.
Great. And to bring those two things together, you often talked about apprentices like growing your own tomatoes. That's a wonderful story you've shared a few times. Would you mind sharing that with listeners today, just about how you grow your own tomatoes during COVID?
And the analogy is that when you grow your own, that you appreciate it so much more. And that's the case with our apprentices. We grow our own. And as a result of that, 96% of those apprentices stay with us. And the analogy I used is that whenever in COVID, I really, really loved tomatoes, and the shelves were bare, couldn't find them anywhere. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to order the seeds in and I'm going to grow them myself, which I did. It took well over a year to get experienced at it. But the analogy is so true, because when you grow something yourself, first of all, it's less expensive. Second of all, you have a reliable source. And the third area is that, you can grow the different flavors to suit what you need. So you can, in the apprentice analogy, you can mold the apprentice's skills to align with the business needs. So growing your own in terms of that analogy was something that it made me sit back and reflect. Now these tomatoes taste so much better than what you get from the store because you've grown them yourself. And in the workplace, our own employees, we're so much more proud of them because we've grown them ourselves. We've seen the skills develop. So it's just, the analogy works.
Totally, and the proof is there. It's a recognised apprenticeship program. You've got the high retention rates that you've talked about.